The market has been very mixed in crypto in the last month. Bittensor tended to underperform, yet Grayscale is scaling up. Grayscale is supporting Bittensor TAO, it's even filing for an ETF. And the retail interest tends to also be quite high. As in, when I published my last TAO video on this channel, it outperformed in terms of number of views compared to the average video on this channel. So what's going on here? Why is Bittensor struggling? And this is potentially an opportunity. Let's have a look at the data most people aren't considering. Let's try to figure out who's buying and who's selling here. Now for the selling, we've got a relatively clear data point. We've got the tokenomics. Bittensor is an inflating cryptocurrency. 1 year ago, we had 9.8 million TAO. And now we are at 11.5 million. So a growth rate of more than 15% per annum. And the price discovery happens via the marginal buyer and seller. So if going forward we don't see a demand growth of the entire investor base of more than 15% per annum, then the price of TAO has to go down. Hi, my name is Gerhard. I've been in the crypto space for the last 8 years. I hit my first million 3 years ago. And in this video, I want to share the data points that I look at in order to outperform the market. On average, I've outperformed buying and holding Bitcoin by roughly 2% per month. More details are on the website linked down below. Copy trading over here. That's for the annual subscribers. This is my portfolio measured in BTC over time. This is the monthly alpha. And on average per month, I made roughly 2 extra percent. Now this is fluctuating, of course, but I'm also sharing my trades in real time. And that started 2 years ago. This is the track record. In total, there are 165 trades. 7 positions are currently open, and every position is locked over here. So of course the open positions are not directly on the open page, but the trading record is. And so I don't know many people that are willing to share all of that data and that are as transparent. But let's get back to Bittensor. Let's have a look at why the price is struggling. Now, this is the Bittensor price measured in US dollars over time. The bottoms and the tops align quite nicely. This is all parallel lines. Very long term, we tend to see an underperformance again, probably because of the token inflation. And here's the TAO chart relative to the rest of the altcoin market. So we're looking at TAO relative to others. Others is the market cap of the altcoins that are not in the top 10. So even within the altcoins that already tend to be quite inflationary, TAO tended to do slightly worse. We are not extremely expensive now. We are not extremely cheap. But if the negative momentum prevails, TAO could underperform the rest of the altcoin market by 39%. That token inflation matters because have a look at the market cap of TAO over time. It tended to hover at around $3 billion where it's now. But the price of Bittensor, it tends to go lower from cycle to cycle. The cycle tops in the price tend to decline. That's not true for the market cap. And again, that's all just because more tokens hit the market over time. Let's have a look at the short term. So this is the trading volume on the spot market in the last 24 hours. It's 55 million on KuCoin. The perpetual futures market has more trading volume. That's 450 million. So roughly 8 to 9 times trading volume on spot. And so we can't ignore that data. The funding rate tends to be rather balanced right now. When it's very positive, it looks like the market makers sell off their TAO and take advantage of all of that long bias. So the short-term traders just bet on TAO to go up. That's when the dumping happens, and vice versa. When everybody is very bearish and we've got a negative funding rate, the market makers just buy up the token and liquidate all of those shorts. Currently, we are rather balanced. And all the liquidations that we see are also quite equal on both sides, the longs and shorts. The trading volume, however, is currently rather high, and that's not good for the price development because there is positive correlation between the price and trading volume. When trading volume goes up, then the price goes up. That's simply because there's more attention on the token. When trading volume goes down, the price tends to follow. And currently, we tend to be rather elevated in trading volume. It's even worse for the open interest. So this now measures at how many bets are currently made on the TAO price. If many people currently bet on TAO, then there is more attention, then the spot price tends to be high. When less people bet on TAO, the open interest goes down, and then also the spot price tends to follow. Very often simply due to arbitrage bots that trade the perpetual futures market versus the spot market. And currently that open interest is very high. If the open interest, so this area in green, was to fall, then the spot price of TAO will likely follow as well. And that's the big risk that we have now. That's why I think there is a good chance that this negative momentum will actually prevail. I've also run a backtest. If you've been following this channel for a while, you know that I like to optimize the golden and dev crosses to time the market short term. I've run the same numbers for Bittensor TAO. This is also available to the premium members, by the way. So there's tutorial videos on how to actually use all of this. And then we've got here at the bottom our optimization for golden and dev crosses for Bittensor TAO. So at the x-axis, we've got the slow moving average. On the y-axis, we've got the fast moving average. The more green this is, the better the performance, of course. The best result is the 5-day versus 14-day simple moving average. That created almost 180% per annum versus just buying and holding TAO that gave 36% per annum. And that's then how that looks like over time. So on the very bottom, we've got the value of our portfolio measured in Bittensor. So this is a good approach to time short-term trading. We can have a look at the live chart. This is where we are at right now. The 14-day simple moving average is the line in blue. The 5-day simple moving average is the line in orange. We did get a dev cross on the 15th of May. So now we are rather bearish on Bittensor, and we actually did trade Bittensor profitably based on that strategy as well. So that's why it's so useful to also have this full track record. We can just filter here for TAO. There were 2 bad trades where I got stopped out, but the recent trade that made 36% of gains. And here, have a look at this. So we can look at the opening. It then opens the Telegram message where I'm actually entering that particular short, and it's based on our moving average crosses, and then subsequently our close. And that close happened, let's have a look again, 23 days afterwards. That's over here. So that's for the manual copy trading. There's of course also automated copy trading. Last year this made annualized 44%. This year we are on track to achieve the same again, but this is just for the annual members. So I'd recommend you just start out with monthly first, and if you're interested in not just manually copy trading but actually running this on autopilot, you can upgrade to annual at any point in time. But for now, just have a look at Bittensor with the 5-day versus 14-day simple moving average. And be aware that currently we are not bullish. Currently the momentum is negative, and there is quite some risk, especially given that the open interest is so elevated and that the potential downside is close to 40% from here. If you found this interesting, feel free to subscribe. I publish videos regularly. A like would be very much appreciated as well. It helps the channel grow. See you next time here on YouTube, or see you in Premium. A link to Premium pops up here on the screen. There's also a 7-day money back guarantee. In case you don't like it, just message me within the first 7 days and I'll refund your credit card. Or if you pay via crypto, I'll send the crypto back. See you next time. Cheers.